Have you ever wondered what it really means when someone has no friends? At first glance, it might seem sad or even strange. Society often tells us that having a big circle of friends equals happiness, success, and a normal life. But what if that's not always true? What if having no friends is not a failure, but a psychological pattern with deeper meaning? Today, we're going to explore the psychology of people who have no friends and what's actually going on beneath the surface. Because the truth might surprise you. Not everyone without friends is lonely. Some people genuinely enjoy solitude. They feel energized when they're alone, not drained. This personality trait is often linked to introversion, but it goes deeper than just being quiet or shy. For some individuals, being alone gives them a sense of control. Social interactions can feel unpredictable, exhausting, or even overwhelming. So instead of constantly adapting to others, they choose a space where they can fully be themselves. But here's the twist. Enjoying solitude doesn't always mean they don't crave connection. Many people without friends still want meaningful relationships. They just don't want shallow ones. They're not interested in small talk, fake smiles, or forced conversations. They're looking for depth, authenticity, real understanding. And when they don't find it, they'd rather have no friends than the wrong ones. Another powerful reason lies in past experiences. Some people didn't start off alone. They became that way. Betrayal, rejection, bullying, or emotional neglect can leave deep psychological marks. When trust is broken repeatedly, the brain learns a simple lesson: people are unsafe. So instead of risking more pain, they build walls, not because they hate people, but because they're protecting themselves. Over time, this self-protection can turn into isolation, and the longer someone stays isolated, the harder it becomes to reconnect. It's like a muscle that hasn't been used in years. Social skills, confidence, and emotional openness can slowly fade. Not because the person is incapable, but because they haven't had the environment to practice. And then there's social anxiety. For some individuals, interacting with others isn't just uncomfortable, it's terrifying. Their mind constantly overanalyzes everything. What if I say something wrong? What if they judge me? What if they don't like me? This creates a loop of fear and avoidance. The more they avoid social situations, the scarier those situations become. Eventually, they stop trying altogether, not because they don't care, but because it feels safer not to try. Now, here's something most people don't talk about. Some people have no friends because they see the world differently. Highly intelligent or deeply reflective individuals often struggle to find like-minded people. Their conversations might revolve around ideas, meaning, or complex thoughts, things that don't always fit into everyday social interactions. This can make them feel disconnected, even when surrounded by people. It's not that they're better than others, it's that they're wired differently. And when you don't feel understood, loneliness can exist even in a crowd. But there's another side to this. Some people without friends develop incredible inner strength. They become independent. They learn how to entertain themselves, solve their own problems, and rely on their own thoughts instead of external validation. They don't need constant approval or attention. In a world where many people struggle to be alone, they've mastered it. But independence can sometimes come at a cost. Humans are social beings. No matter how strong or self-sufficient someone becomes, the need for connection never fully disappears. It might be hidden, ignored, suppressed, but it's still there, and this is where things get complicated. Because someone with no friends might look completely fine on the outside, while silently battling loneliness on the inside. They might laugh, work, and live normally, but still feel like no one truly knows them. And that feeling can be one of the most isolating experiences a human can have. Another interesting psychological factor is standards. Some people have extremely high standards for relationships. They don't easily trust, open up, or invest their time in others unless they feel a strong connection. While this protects them from toxic relationships, it also limits their chances of forming new ones. It's like having a door that only opens for the perfect person. And sometimes, that person never comes. Technology also plays a role. In today's digital world, it's easier than ever to replace real connections with virtual ones. Scrolling, watching, consuming content, it gives the illusion of interaction without the effort or vulnerability of real relationships. Over time, this can make real-life socializing feel even more difficult. Why go through awkward conversations when you can stay comfortable behind a screen? But deep down, the human brain knows the difference, and it craves something real. Now here's an important truth. Having no friends doesn't define your worth. It doesn't mean you're unlikable, broken, or destined to be alone forever. Sometimes it simply means you haven't found the right people yet. And sometimes it means you're still healing. But if someone wants to change their situation, it's possible. It doesn't happen overnight. It starts with small steps. Understanding your own patterns, challenging your fears, opening up even just a little, and most importantly, allowing yourself to be seen. Because connection doesn't come from perfection. It comes from vulnerability, from showing who you really are, flaws and all. And yes, that's scary, but it's also the only way real relationships are built. At the same time, it's equally important to respect those who choose solitude. Not everyone with no friends is suffering. Some are simply living life on their own terms. And maybe that's something society needs to understand better. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many friends you have. It's about whether you feel understood, valued, and at peace with yourself. Some people find that in a group, others find it alone, and both are valid. So if you're someone who has no friends right now, know this. Your story isn't over. Your situation isn't permanent. And your value doesn't depend on how many people are in your life. Sometimes being alone is not the end of connection. It's just the beginning of understanding yourself. And from that place, everything can change. Before you leave, here's something interesting. If this video made you think even a little differently, that's your brain craving more insight. So go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe, because this channel is all about understanding the hidden psychology behind human behavior. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think, or suggest a topic. Your curiosity might shape the next video. And share this with someone who loves understanding people, or maybe someone who needs to understand themselves a little better. Now click on the next video on your screen. Your mind will thank you for it.